Oh, actually,
Hello, everybody.
something I can do while we're live. Let me just click that button first and foremost. Wait for my stream to show up.
Something I can
So
do
Giant
while
Bomb
we're
were having a
live.
blowout sale. Let me just click that button
Um,
first and foremost. Wait for my recently / over the past couple of weeks.
There we go.
So I picked up the 2005 staff poster for a steal.
The 2005 staff poster. Okay, I don't remember.
Oh,
this
not
one.
2005, 2015. Sorry.
Okay.
Because it was like $3 or something. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna pick it up.
That's a no-brainer.
It doesn't have Abby on it, which I'm a little bit disappointed in because
Yeah.
Abby is amazing. Which I loved the photo she posted to Twitter earlier this week. Her eyes were basically shut because
Yeah,
it looked like
whatever
she was
she had
having
an
allergy.
allergic reaction to.
But the 2015 staff poster
That's nice. Oh,
with
wow.
Sleepy Brad,
Sleepy Brad is my favorite Brad.
obsessed with the cheese, Dan Reichert,
Great. That was a disgusting time.
small businessman Vinny Caravella, which is amazing.
Small businessman is my favorite.
But my personal favorite, Metal Gear Scanlan, all the way up at the top.
Oh, man, look at that. Man, Metal Gear Scanlan was so good.
I literally just finished watching Metal Gear Scanlan Rising,
Okay.
and I forgot, number one, how good that game is. Number two, how incredible the soundtrack was.
Yes.
If you're interested in metal of any form, go check out that soundtrack. It's incredible. And I love the fact that they call Hideo Kojima Nostradamus in that playthrough because of the last boss.
It's so good.
But I mostly went on the store to pick up Volume 2.
Oh, of the pins.
Yep. I have Volume 1. They're actually downstairs, so I can't show them right now.
Who's on volume 2? Who's that?
Volume 2 is, I think it's Jan, right here. No, not Jan. Fuck.
Jason?
Jason, thank you. Yeah. It's Jason and Dan.
Oh, okay.
I don't like Dan's because I'm not a fan of Dan anyway. But
yeah.
The fact that he actually has his Reichert t-shirt on.
That's a pretty good touch.
Yeah. The first one was, I think it was Jeff and Alex, which are genuinely fantastic.
Yeah, that's your first run that you want.
Yeah. I think it's really good, actually, because it looks like they might be doing one West and one East with each incarnation.
Ah, gotcha.
So I'm hoping Vinny's next for East, and it might be Brad. I'm thinking either Brad or Jan.
Vinny and Brad would be a real killer of a combo.
Well, I was saying to my wife, I honestly can't wait for Abby's one to come out. Just because of the hair. How are they going to produce the hair?
I might buy that one. Yeah. For anyone just joining us, we were talking in the pre-show about Moon was talking about how long TVGP has been around. That in an early episode we were talking about Jeff Gerstmann getting fired from GameSpot, and I looked up. It is episode 7. 007. So 590 episodes ago, we were talking about Jeff Gerstmann getting fired.
Yeah, and that's the last thing I picked up from the Giant Bomb store sale. Because
I like that.
I am a sucker for mugs.
I like that mug a lot.
Yeah. Don't know if it's dishwasher proof, so I'm not going to take the risk. This is going to be hand washed all the way. But yeah, it's a good mug.
Or I should listen to Giant Bomb stuff. I have not yet.
Honestly, it's about the personalities. Like, I went through a phase, like, they'd already existed for like 4 years when I was introduced to them, and I started listening to the Giant Bombcast when it was a bunch of people I didn't like, and it was one of those things where I was like, okay, I'm just going to bounce off. I don't care, whatever. People like them, people don't. Since that time, I have developed an appreciation for some of the people I didn't like at that time. Like, I hated whenever Patrick Klepek was on a Bombcast. Like, I couldn't stand listening to him talk. Now I have a much bigger appreciation for him as an individual, so I can go back and listen to them. It's like, no, he's actually great.
He just wasn't for you at the time.
Exactly.
Right.
And once you get used to certain people, you'll find you will lean towards like certain members of the staff. It's the original personality-based website kind of thing. Like, I don't like watching any quick looks that Brad does. I am both amused and horrified whenever Dan Reichert is on anything.
Yep.
And if you give me Vinny Caravella in something, I'm going to watch it. I don't care what it is. I will cope with Dan's BS and watch This Is the Run because Vinny is on it.
You give me Vinny and Abby, and I'm a happy man.
Yeah. The perfect protege and mentor kind of combo right there.
They're both chaotic good. I think someone wrote the other day.
I think Abby's chaotic neutral.
Yeah. Vinny is definitely chaotic good.
Yeah, definitely. But Abby, I mean, I've been watching stuff like the 13 Deadly Sims and...
those are so good.
And Abby's show where she plays scary games because she gets scared dead easy. She's worse than Boston, and that's saying something.
Yeah, we are chickens in arms.
But like, she opens the door and something falls down, and she's almost in tears. She's that terrified.
Yeah.
But watching those stuff, that is what led my wife to investigate Abby, and Abby just randomly tweeted one day, "I carry a small gun to compensate for the fact that I got a huge dick." And just like that, my wife is in love. It's like, yep,
super fan.
Perfect. Like,
hey there, winemaker Joe.
So good. Yeah, hey Joe.
That's the good stuff. Yeah, Winemaker Joe says still bounced off Giant Bomb, and I've tried multiple times to get into him. I think that's the positive and the negative of the sort of cult of personality websites. You know, either I like everyone except for one person at Giant Bomb.
Dan Reichert.
Right. And that works for me, but I've watched content from especially other large websites. It's sort of like, I don't like any of you guys at all, so I'm not gonna. And I think that's the good part, is it's usually the people complain that there are like too many streamers and too many podcasts and too many websites now, but I think that's never a problem, because you're gonna find that one content creator, that one streamer that you really love, and they're gonna play just the things you really like. Like, I watch a guy on YouTube, Northern Lion. He's been playing Binding of Isaac ever since the original came out. So he's put up thousands and thousands of Isaac videos, and I watch his video every day.
Yeah, because it's you and it's Isaac, so of course you do.
Well, and it's also this sort of fun... It's
not like I can talk.
The easier the runs are, the less they are about Isaac, and the more they are about this really crazy stream of consciousness that he can get into.
Oh, yeah.
It's really great.
I like Northern Lion.
Yeah, Northern Lion's one of my favorites. Azazel has joined the stream.
Yeah, I haven't watched Northern Lion enough because it's finding the time, to be honest.
Right.
But my favorite thing that he's ever done, as my camera refocuses on me, is the one you posted me of the clip of him streaming, and he's like, "I'm on like a 6-winning streak, and this is going great." And he started Mom's Toenail and gets squished in the first 2 seconds.
Yeah, that wasn't actually him. That was some random guy, but that was the best like 7-second clip I've seen in a really long time. Oh, hello. 2 more people joined the stream.
Yes,
listening
like I said, it's not like I can talk about Isaac.
Yeah, that's Azazel, right? He has wings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Little wings.
I never remember the difference. I think the only difference between Azazel and Dark Judas is the wings and the hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought he had a mustache for a second.
It's just his hair. His hair, when he came packaged, they were both vacuum sealed. So, like, Isaac is obviously fine because he's got no extracurricular stuff.
Right.
But Azazel, his hair is just like completely down, and his horns are showing through as well. Which I don't think that's something Dark Judas has.
I don't think Dark Judas has hair. No. Let's Google Isaac. Dark.
That's the other Azazel I have.
Judas.
It's not like I have a problem or anything.
Right. Judas' shadow. Yeah, he just has the red. He's just basically a black Isaac with red eyes. That's it. Okay. Are you guys ready to start this thing?
Yep.
Yep.
All right, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston, and joining me as always is Moonpeer, who is almost taking a drink.
Hello. Your audio cut out for a second then, so that's fun.
Yeah. Hey, that's great. And Monkey Senior joining us in yet another week.
Hello.
I don't think... Oh, there's a new episode of Old Dog New Flicks out for patrons right now.
Yep.
1991's Thelma and Louise.
Yep. I can't remember what the free episode will be this month. My memory doesn't go back that far.
I will fire it up here because I also don't. It is 1996's Fargo.
Oh, okay. We actually, weirdly enough, we referenced Fargo in this month's episode. So
there you go.
Handy.
Yeah. So if you're a patron of the $5 tier or higher, you can get it patreon.com/E1M1 and 1 their numbers. And don't forget, it's just per month. It's not per episode. So just $5 a month. That's super cheap.
Yep. Along with all the other stuff.
Yeah, I'm not trying to sell it to you, but I'm also trying to sell it to you. So patreon.com/E1M1. Also, if you're a patron, the last episode of Season 2 of Dynamic Soundtrack is going up tomorrow on the 1st. And I'll be posting some in-progress stuff when I'm prepping for Season 3. So go join there. I think that's it, so let's start with what you've been playing, Moonpeer.
Okay. Start with the showstopper, shall we?
Okay.
Big thanks to community member Angel Eye, who randomly sent me a message and was like, yo, here, have a digital download code. Like, okay.
Okay.
For Breath of the Wild.
Hello.
So I probably spent most of Thursday night playing Breath of the Wild.
Boy, it got you pretty good, huh?
Great game.
More than a little bit. No, sorry, most of Wednesday night, because I ended up delaying my editing of ODNF because I was too obsessed with Breath of the Wild.
That's happened to all of us. I'm glad that you're getting the authentic Breath of the Wild experience. We're like, I'll just fire it up, and then 6 hours later, you're like, oh, the sun's coming up. Oh no. Yeah.
Well, okay. So I tried playing it on the Switch itself. The screen is great.
Yep.
I don't like the way the controls feel for a really, needing good controls kind of game.
Right. Oh, you just had it in handheld?
Yes.
Okay.
Not ideal for me with the size of my hands and that controller layout. I was like,
the Switch is a little heavy too in handheld. Like, it's not impossible, but it's a little bit heavy.
Yeah. So then I thought, well, I'm just going to play it docked and then see how that feels. So I put it in the dock. I went through the rigmarole of figuring out which of the two TVs it was plugged into, which HDMI cable it was plugged into. Turns out it was getting fed through my wife's Xbox. So yeah, that was complicated to figure out.
Interesting.
Because we have the HDMI in, so save yourself a HDMI port and plug the Switch in through the Xbox.
Yeah.
Great. So I went through all of that, and I didn't really like the way it felt with the stupid built-in slide controllers and
in like that dog face-looking controller thing. Yeah.
I didn't feel great then either.
It's not great.
I mean, at this point, I've not even left the first area thing that you're trying to get out of. Like I'm still in the first dungeon. I'm like, oh, come on, now it's gotta be a way I can play this. And then I remembered I bought a dongle for my PlayStation.
Oh,
which allowed me to use my Xbox controller on my PlayStation.
Right, and it's just a USB thing, right?
Mm-hmm. And then I remembered that in the instructions for said dongle, it said it could work for the Switch.
And the Switch does have that hidden USB port.
Yes, it does. So I thought, let's give it a go.
Yeah.
At which point I promptly desynced it from my PlayStation, synced it to the Switch, and then spent about 4.5 hours straight just playing Breath of the Wild.
Nice.
I wish the Pro Controller wasn't so expensive, because the Pro Controller is really good, but the Xbox One controller is really good.
Yeah, so I saved myself however many $60 it is by paying for a $39 little dongle thing.
Right.
So
and having yet another controller in our house.
Yep. So yeah, Breath of the Wild is something truly special, and I'm still on the tutorial plateau thing.
Nice.
It took me forever to figure out how to fish. It turns out the answer is you bomb them to death. So,
okay.
Bombing for fish is quite funny.
Right.
Because I was really struggling with the mountain stuff. Specifically, I've done 2 of the 4, like
the
startup
shrines.
Yeah, 2 of the 4 shrines where you get the abilities that will do you for the rest of the game.
Right.
I've done 2 of those, and every time I went up the mountain, I was just getting worked. I was getting frozen. I was getting things dropped on my head.
That's right. Okay, I remember.
Kept on dropping the stupid big metal platform onto the things to make that bridge, and I just fell into the water, and I get frustrated.
Right.
So, as you can probably tell, I've got the magnetism one and the bombs.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was reading the old man's diary, and he's like, "Oh, I've got this great recipe. I won't need my warm coat if someone could just remind me how to do the recipe."
Right.
And it's like, okay, number 1, old man, just turn back 3 pages. The recipe is right there.
Right.
I read the recipe as I was going through the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, so now I need to figure out how to fish. So I spent probably about an hour and a half finding a fishing rod. Doesn't exist.
Okay.
I found a little pond that had fish in it, and they kept on swimming away from me. So at the end, I just got frustrated and started throwing bombs into the water, and it turns out it works. I took that, made the recipe, showed it to the guy. The guy gave me his warm coat. Now I have my warm coat, and I'm ready to go and trek and take on these last 2 shrines without having to worry about being frozen to death.
Right, or having to chug the potion to make you warm.
Yeah, exactly. Chug the potion or eat some hot food or whatever it is. Like 3 minutes is not enough for me to climb up this sheer mountain face.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Right.
I'm going to need something better than that. So I have what I need. I'm now up to those shrines. That game is amazing so far. And I've played it about 4 or 5 hours, and it looks beautiful. It looks okay on the handheld. It looks perfectly fine on the actual TV itself. But yeah, the control scheme has thrown me off a little bit, that ABXY thing.
Yeah. I played it on Wii U originally, and it looked pretty good over there. And I was talking to my brother about it this week, where I was like, man, I'd really love to play it on the Switch, because I never played any of the DLC, and I'd love to play some of that stuff. And I'd love to play Breath of the Wild again, because it's been long enough. I probably don't remember most of it. But I think the sun will die before it goes on sale. So I guess I never will be able to.
Yeah, it's the old Nintendo rule. We'll put a discount on at the heat death of the universe, like that kind of thing.
2 years after the next Zelda game comes out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's Breath of the Wild. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, so this is what I was missing.
Right, like, oh, it is good, like everyone's been saying.
And it also does that thing of, yo, guess what? We're not going to tell you a thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's a big risk that they took with a Zelda game.
But I think that tutorial plateau is so small, and like you legitimately can't leave it until you finish all that stuff. And I think it's such a small playground for you to learn. Like, oh, I can climb trees. Oh, I can do this thing with the fish, and here's how I chop down trees, and here's how all this stuff I can do. Like, it's
I love the tree chopping down bit, where it's just like, oh, use an axe or a sword if you're in really dire need. It's like, can I really chop down these trees? Yes. Yes,
I'll be doing this for the next 15 minutes.
It's Farming Simulator starring Link is what it ends up being.
I'm excited for you to, now that you've like gotten introduced to the cooking and the effects of different armor and food and all that, I'm really excited for you to leave the tutorial island, the tutorial plateau, and sort of get the proper meat of the game started.
Yeah, and I know I've got. I know one of the things I need to pick up is the leaf that lets you do the weird hovering trick. I know that's one of the things, mostly because I've seen some crazy stuff from this game thanks to gifs that came out when it was around.
Yeah,
like here is 4 floating things underneath a piece of wood, and I'm just going to sail across the planet, kind of thing.
Yep.
But yeah, Breath of the Wild is good. It's shockingly good.
Yeah.
And it's also deserving of the praise that was heaped on it. More people still need to be talking about this game the way people still talk like about all of the old school classics. Like this goes down for me with Mario 64 as a game changer in a Nintendo franchise.
Yeah.
Like, and it should be remembered as such, and hopefully it will be. But yeah, Breath of the Wild is something truly special. And again, thank you, community member Angel. It's
very generous.
Oh, yes. So whenever I can get the Switch out of my wife's hands, expect me to be playing this a lot.
You gotta rush and finish it before Tropico 6 comes out.
Well, Tropico 6 might not be coming out on the Switch now. Don't.
Oh no.
You missed the thunderstorm of depression that hit this household after last week's episode.
Well, at least it should still come out for Xbox One.
Yeah, with no announced date as of yet.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're a fairly small studio, so.
Oh, they are. And it's funny because I think I actually called it out on the show. I was like, I have to do my due diligence and find out as much as I can.
Right.
And then I went down and passed said diligence on to my wife, who promptly got so upset because this is like one of her favorite game series of all time.
Right.
It was like a child being told that Santa doesn't exist.
Right.
It was that kind of level of horrible downswinging mood.
Right.
So
when you tell my 2-year-old no, it's just like
yes, exactly. It was like a volcano ready to erupt with just anger. So,
right.
Tropico 6, please come out on Xbox One soon, please.
Yeah,
please,
or at least just announce a date,
sake.
And then we can put it on the calendar.
Yeah, exactly. Then we could start getting excited for the date.
Right. Start saving our ducats.
I started Super Hot. Super Hot.
Yeah, I haven't started that yet.
I started it mostly because I couldn't think of what to play, and this is this month's Game Club game.
Yep.
So obviously I'm going to say very little about it here.
Right.
I'm glad there is no photosensitive people in my household.
Okay.
Because this is a flashy game.
Okay.
It's got a cool art style. It's got the whole white and red art style kind of thing. But oh boy, does this thing just assault your eyeballs with visual almost immediately, and it just doesn't stop. From the bullets to the visual style to the DOS menu screen, like
right.
It's very visually assaulting, and I kind of like it. And we'll see how we go from here.
We'll see if I can finish this one.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Do either or any of you on the Game Club have VR at all? Do you know if Musum has
Musum does.
Yes,
he said he's going to check it out on VR.
Okay,
yeah,
because that is really fun in VR.
Yeah,
I played it and it's like,
he said he's going to play the VR version and he's play the for Game Club. I've seen Gersman play the VR version and seeing like him throw a gun up to a different floor to where he knows he's going to spawn and then catch the gun he just threw himself.
Right,
is something rather insane. So yeah, super hot. It's super hot. There's a reason everybody was talking about that thing for a while. It's because it's really cool. I played Apex Legends. Shock of shocks. I continue to play Apex Legends.
It continues to be good.
Yes. I bought the season pass, tip jar, whatever. I'm never going to level up that far in it, and that's fine.
Yeah.
The most memorable thing for me this week is I did get my victory with at least 8 heroes. So all of the 8 original heroes I now have a victory with. I'm 2 achievements away from getting my 100% in that game.
Wow.
Which is player level 50 and damage 5,000 with at least 8 different people.
Jeez.
However, I speaking of my wife, I one point just started playing this over nighttime after my wife had gone to bed. I was just playing it by myself with randos, and I got the fully geared out achievement, which is you have to have a golden body shield and a golden helmet, which are extremely rare drops, very difficult to find. I randomly got it. I didn't even realize I got it until I did.
Right.
And as soon as that achievement popped, my first thought was, Jess is going to be so mad at me.
Because you can't like drop the items and share them with her.
Exactly. So it was what she's been. I mean, I'm level 34. She's like level 56 or something. So that should tell you the different ratios of playing there.
Right.
So just randomly this week, we thought, you know what? Let's play some Apex. So we did. We started playing Apex. On one run, we got one of the victories we got. She had a golden shield. I had a golden shield. We saw. She also had a golden backpack, a golden resurrection shield.
Wow.
And it was one of the other items that you can have. Like, she had basically gold in everything except for the helmet. And we also found 3 golden guns, including like the Kraber sniper rifle, you know, the shotgun, and I even had a golden what's the triple fire submachine gun? I can't remember what it's called. A Prowler. I had a golden Prowler, which had everything attached, and Prowler's my go-to weapon. Still no helmet in that run. Great. Throw your hands in the air and just complain about it, because it's like, what do you have to do?
Right.
So we just happened to be randomly playing it for fun. Obviously, that's why we play video games, is for fun and achievements. We were playing it and didn't even realize that we were down to the last 3 squads. Circle's closing in. A supply drop comes down next to me, and she's like in the middle of shooting people who have got me in a corner. It's like, okay, so I'm just going to run to this supply drop and see what's in it. As soon as I opened it, there was a golden helmet. She already had the shield. And I was just like, babe. We ran away from the battle, leaving our random third teammate to deal with these.
I'm sorry, I hope you understand.
Jumped off an edge. I threw the helmet down. She picked up the helmet. She got the achievement. And then we climbed back up and won the round to make it one better.
Even better.
So there is actually a clip of that on my wife's Twitter feed if you're interested in seeing how much this means and how urgently I can shout babe as fast as I possibly can.
Right.
So yeah, she got that achievement, and yeah, Apex is still pretty great.
That sounds like something I tried to do in Destiny 2 this week that I'll have to try and remember when I talk about that. Trying to do something very similar where I've been trying to do it forever and it's just not happening.
Well, it's you and your bounties is what that is.
It's worse than that.
And my final game this week, which I'm assuming is another good cross game for everybody involved, it's Tom Clancy's The Division 2.
I played a lot of that this week. Not a lot during the week, but a lot this weekend. I'm level 26 now.
Yeah, level check, Monkey.
I think I'm 27.
Yeah.
25. So
okay. Hey, nice.
We're all heading around there at the same time.
And I know a lot of people are like, I'm only gear score 430, and I'm like, I'm not even 30 yet. But part of the reason why I'm enjoying this so much is I'm sort of savoring it because I'm having so much fun playing it and just sort of farting around the world that I'm happy to just go in, do a couple of things, maybe like capture a control point and do one main mission if I have a little bit of time. But other than that, I'm sort of just happy screwing around in the game.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm doing my best to not burn myself out on this as quick as I can. And from everything I'm hearing, the end game is great, so I'm not going to put 50 hours into it over the course of 2 weeks and then another 50 on the end game stuff. Right. I'm fine savoring this as I go.
Do you know what happens when you finish the story?
I know there is a specialization because they talked about it at that E3 press conference.
No, the invasion stuff.
Oh, no.
Okay, cool. I almost accidentally spoiled it then.
Okay.
The invasion is one thing that I am really, really excited about. And I know that's sort of the transition between the regular game stuff over into the end game stuff is the invasion stuff. And that has me really excited. So I think I'm like 70 or 8, maybe 80% through the story. I just did a bunch of story missions yesterday. I like got all the people in the White House, and I have both settlements upgraded and all that. So I feel like I'm getting pretty close.
I think I'm missing 2 people in the White House now, and I'm in the middle of upgrading the West settlement. But I've literally just done a clockwise motion on the map and then clear, and just do it as I go, kind of thing. I now have all safe rooms open, and I did dart into that last division zone, or the last dark zone, and get an extraction from there. So now I have my dark zone achievement, and I never have to touch that thing again. I know, Monkey, you like it. I hate the dark zone.
Yeah. Do you do any more Dark Zone this week, Monkey?
I actually didn't play that much Division this week. I did like, I think 3 main missions, and yeah,
yeah. I did one main mission where at the end, so I'm still playing solo, and I realized one thing I really like about playing solo this week is, every once in a while, if you sort of poke around, you'll find those rooms that have like the giant yellow padlock on them, or a gate that has treasure behind them, and you have to trace the wire to the box and shoot the box. I like playing solo because I can find all that stuff, and I'm finding keychains all over the place. I'm finding cosmetic stuff.
Whoa, keychains. Whoa, let's rewind a second here, because I've only got 2, and that's the thing I want the most of.
Got like 6 of them. So the ones that I really like, when you fully upgraded, do you have the hippo?
I have the hippo from fully upgrading the theater settlement. I have the space shuttle.
Yep.
For grabbing it off the space shuttle.
The DCD mission, there you have to go and like cleanse some labs. There's a skeleton in like the back right-hand corner. Interact with that, and you'll pick up a skeleton keychain.
Oh, come on.
I just got a gavel for doing some spoilery story stuff.
I have that one too.
Okay, yeah. I have a White House for doing something in the beta. Playing the
I think it's
beta?
just playing.
Yeah, I think it was just playing the beta. And Ubisoft, you showed a hamburger keychain in the trailer for the Gold Edition, by the by, and I don't have a hamburger keychain. It does not appear to be in the game, and I'm very upset.
Is it possibly something you have to redeem through the Ubisoft Club?
No, I have all that stuff. But I don't know, it's probably one of those things that'll come later in one of the free packs.
First DLC and hamburger.
Yes.
Just that too.
Yeah, that'd be great. Where it's like, it's just the hamburger patch. It's 20 gigs. I ran into a mission. I don't remember which one it was. But you know you're in trouble when you go to highlight the mission on your map, and it's like, here are the enemy drops, and there are 4 enemies that will drop stuff. And it's like, all right, this is gonna... some stuff is going to happen. And it was me against a yellow bar flamethrower dude that went really poorly playing solo.
Was that the one that was slightly underground? And it was a flamethrower guy, and then either before or after him, there was also an assault yellow guy.
Yep. And there was a medic one.
Guy.
Yep. The medic one was the one I had a lot of trouble with until I zapped him with his defibrillators.
Yep.
Yeah, I got killed a couple of times by that flamethrower guy, and eventually got it at the end, but that was one of those times where it's like, okay, this game is really good solo, but every once in a while I wish I just had like one more person that I could play, on the couch with, which I could. Yeah. I bought it digitally so my wife could play it, but she's been pulling a lot of hours.
Get a level 1 person in there. Go on.
Exactly. Well, it does scale up, so I mean, she'd be doing quite a bit of damage, but who knows with what starting weapon? It's like, I got a pistol.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, the Gold Edition gives you 2 legendary weapons, I think.
It gives you 1 exotic, that exotic shotgun, which that shotgun was shooting people and like one-shotting people from hundreds of yards away. Like, it's like a sniper rifle. It was so dumb. I kept that thing on until it was like level 12, and it's just way overpowered. It was awesome.
Wait, you only got 1? I think I've got 2. I got a rifle that rifle's so weird. So when you pull the trigger, it shoots, and when you release the trigger, it shoots. You didn't get that one?
Oh,
Well, I think that was in.
Really weird.
Do you have the Ultimate Edition?
Oh, I might have the Ultimate.
Yeah, because I think that comes with Ultimate. Yeah, people were posting about that where they're like, "Hey, it shoots twice. It shoots when you pull and when you release." And I was just like, "The what?"
That's such a weird weapon to use.
I think that's from Halo. There was originally a gun in Halo that trigger fired when you pulled and when you released. I think.
Weird. Was there something like that in Division 1, like an exotic like that?
No, not that I can remember. There was nothing like that. I know. I really want to get to 30 because I want to do the whole specialization weapons.
Yeah, which one are you going to go for, man?
Honestly, I don't know yet.
I'm probably going to do sniper. What about you, Monkey? What are you thinking of between the three of them?
What are the three of them?
Sniper, grenade launcher, and crossbow.
Yeah, and for this household, I think my wife will probably pick a sniper rifle because she's enjoying the bolt action stuff. So I'll probably end up going grenade launcher or crossbow. But it's me, so it's probably grenade launcher, to be honest.
Yeah,
nice. I'd probably do sniper.
Sniper just sounds cool. I played around with it a little bit in the beta, and the zoom on that thing is nuts, and it's awesome.
Yeah, and I just can't wait to unlock the last person in the White House, because the last person in the White House has got like a glove with arrows going up symbol. And thanks to Division 1, I already know that that's the lady who will be responsible for upgrading and infusing all of my weapons.
Yes, so the recalibration station.
Yes, which is a great name for that station.
It's really good. I just unlocked it, and it is something that I know I will be confused about until I have like a whole bunch of high-end guns that I want to recalibrate from one to the other. I was reading a little bit about it to try and get my head around it, and I was like, all right, I sort of think I get the gist of it, but you sort of have to have a bunch of junk weapons that you want to just play around with to get your hands on it.
Yeah, and it's also essentially it's a free reroll on certain stats with it. So like in Division 1, at least at the recalibration station, which when I jumped back into the division, the first division, and found that, I was like, what does this thing do? And it was like 4 patches later, and I was so confused by it.
Right.
But then you figure out, you infuse stuff into it, and then you can actually specify which stats on it are low and re-roll or attempt to re-roll those stats for different stats or higher stats. So it's very much like the Diablo thing, where you re-roll a specific stat and you can get something better. You can get worse, but you can try and get something better as well.
Right.
So really let you maximize like what you can from a gun which you might love to play with.
From what I've seen, you're actually just taking the special stuff on like blue and higher and putting it onto a different weapon. I don't know about if you can, or I don't know if you can like completely just re-roll.
I mean that's how it was. That's how it was in Div 1. I'm hoping they at least have some form of those options for Div 2, because I found a rifle that I love to use. I was like, okay, this thing is going to be going to gear score 500 with me because I love to shoot this gun. So hopefully it will allow that kind of same thing. But there's so much game here still to play.
Yeah. And I'm even saving a lot of side missions because a lot of those seem to give a lot of great gear. So I'm sort of saving some of those until I finish with the main campaign, because now that I've hit 25, the high-end gear is dropping like candy now, which is really great.
Yeah. Props to Ubisoft. Like, I could sing the praises of the Division 2 all day, but they took a really good game in Division, and it looks like they've topped it in every way, shape, and form, with the exception of no snow.
Right. Division 2 is crazy good. I thought I would like it based on playing the beta, and I really, really, really like this game. And I feel like this is very much like when Diablo 3 got good, and when Destiny 1 launched, when these games got good and sort of captured you, you get that same feeling. And being able to look at this game and see people racing through it faster and saying like, yeah, the end game is really good, and there's just a ton of here's all this stuff you can do, here's X, Y, and Z. That's really exciting. Instead of like, I finished it and I'm what's next? You know, there's still plenty of stuff to do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a good game, but pretty much done on Division 2. So
sorry, you cut out a second.
Yeah.
So for anyone that's listening or watching, we're trying out Discord's video chat, and it has been going well until we started live streaming, and then there's a little bit of audio dropout, but that's fine.
Yeah.
All right, Monkey, what have you been playing this past week?
All right. Well, the first thing, so after last week, we were talking about Crypt of the Necrodancer, and I decided to pick it up because I was looking through it. I didn't play Crypt of the Necrodancer, by the way, but I was looking through the store, because the PlayStation store, because it was on sale there. So I was like, what else can I pick up? So on the homepage of the store, one of the recommendations was a new game that came out Wednesday, I think. It's called Metagal. And if you can't get this from the name, it's a Mega Man clone. It's just a female version of Mega Man, but it's it really feels like a Mega Man game. Like, I was surprised. No, truth be told, I haven't actually like completed all the way through any of the Mega Man games, but I played a lot of it. A lot of the classic.
I haven't even played them, so.
But yeah, this is. How do you know this? It's an okay game. You know, it's made by a very small studio. It was only since it's just released, it's $4 discounted, and it's a really easy platinum if you guys are interested in that, and it is on the Xbox. So if $4 for 1,000 chivos,
I'm writing it down.
But yeah, like within, I want to say 20 minutes, I got the platinum. So I was like, okay.
Oh, wow.
And that wasn't you don't have to complete the game to get the platinum.
Oh, interesting.
But over the course of 2 days, I think I completed it. And so the game is like, you're a female Mega Man, and you have to fight 4 bosses, and then what is it, like the boss type thing. There's 4 stages of boss, like, and stuff. And then once you beat that, you unlock the first 4 characters as playable characters.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, so that's really cool. I've only played a little bit of one of the other characters. What else do I got here?
This is I'm looking this up on the Steam page, and this has a cool style. Like, it feels very much, like you said, like an older Mega Man game, but sort of like it's on the 32X maybe. It looks really cool.
Yeah, it's there. Like, being that I assume it's a small studio. There's a few glitches here and there.
Sure.
Like, there's this one where you could just fall through the floor, like, just completely fall through the floor. I was like, well, that's nice.
Yeah.
And
that's a Mega Man trick if I've ever heard of one.
Yeah.
True. And there's a few like, there's a lot of one-hit kill type of things. Like, you can fall through pits, you can touch spikes. There's a stage with lava falling down, and if you just touch the lava, you're dead.
Sure.
So, like, that is Mega Man stuff, so
yeah,
it's fine. What else? This game made me realize every game needs a button mapping, like,
yes,
re-button mapping. Because this game doesn't have it, and it annoyed me so much.
Well, okay, so what button was the jump button on?
A or X. the bottom one.
Is shoot on square?
Yes.
Okay, so that's not that bad.
It has a dash, and that's on triangle.
Oh.
And then the special gun thing is on circle.
Yikes.
So if you're trying to dash and jump, you have to go from triangle to X. And it's
right. Instead of them having dash on like R1 or something.
Yeah, triggers.
Yeah, I was going to say, are the triggers not used at all? Because they really should be.
Well, the triggers aren't. The R1 and L1 are switch your special weapon. But still, like, trigger to dash. It's so easy.
It's right there.
Yeah.
And it's honestly, that's part of what I don't like about the Switch is the button switches confuse me. I'm always throwing stuff when I mean to select stuff. I'm canceling when I mean to confirm. It's like just even from a non-particular gamer such as myself, where I'm used to a specific controller, even taking out that perspective entirely, think about it as an accessibility option and just give me the ability to flip buttons. Like if you could just flip them, like A equals B, B equals A.
Yep.
And
because like you can do that on the PS4's OS. You can remap buttons completely OS wide, so like no matter what game you're playing, it's going to remap.
Same thing on the Xbox.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing in the Xbox. It'd be nice if that was on the Switch, and it'd be nice if more games allowed you to just do it for that specific game. Because, like, what you really want for Metagal is to put your dash on R2 or whatever, but not switch triangle and dash for everything on your OS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that button mapping thing made me think about Overwatch. Because you can, even on consoles and PC. Sorry, my dog. What other thing? Oh yeah, even on consoles and PC, like you can remap everything.
That's cool.
To every well, except movement because that's on the analog, and look around that's on. But like anything that's just is this button pressed, you can map that to anything. It was like that was so nice in that game.
Yeah.
So what else have I played? Battlefield 5 Firestorm.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That's...
Is this a storm of fire or a good thing?
It's... What I have written down here is, for better or worse, it's exactly what you'd expect a Battlefield BR would be. Or from my perspective, yeah. Because, like, I think I mentioned this on Discord. It doesn't... Or I feel like it didn't take any risks. It just played it safe throughout the whole thing, like making it. And it's an okay game. Solos was not fun.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't bad. It just wasn't fun.
It also sounds like it might not really be Battlefield if it's just solo. Because like you don't have anyone to come pick you up or do any of that. Yeah,
because that's what I was thinking this week too. Because Battlefield intrinsically is very squad-based game. Because even in the regular multiplayer, you're forced into a squad.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I played, I think 5 games solo. Yeah, 5 games solo. My first 3 games, I got no kills.
Okay.
I was just running around.
Sounds like me playing Battlefield.
And then my 4th game, I finally got 1 kill and then proceeded to die, obviously. One thing I noticed that the footsteps, your own footsteps, are so loud.
Oh, weird.
Like it's so hard, or it was very hard for me to hear other people, and hence my dying so much. But yeah, I couldn't tell if my footsteps were mine or someone else's. Like it didn't.
Were you like constantly doing that like 40s and 50s spy comedy thing where like you hear your own footsteps, you stop and you turn around and there's just like an empty corridor behind you?
That's exactly what it was. Like, especially like in multi-story buildings, because there could potentially be someone above me, but I had no idea because I just hear my own footsteps. Like,
That's crazy.
And yeah, another bad thing about it is the loot system. Like, so the loot system's okay. It has rankings of guns, or each gun has a ranking. It's like, how do I explain this?
No, come on, tell us what
gun...
your god tier weapon is. Come on, what's god tier in Battlefield?
Gosh, I can't. Sorry.
It's okay.
So one gun can have multiple levels. So say I have this this pistol, it can either be rank 1, 2, or 3.
Oh,
and,
okay.
The higher rank it is, the more perks on that specific gun.
Gotcha.
Has.
So you want a level 3 pistol instead of a level 2 because it's going to inherently be better in some way.
Right. But that's for every gun. So, so all machine guns, all pistols, all shotguns.
Oh.
That, like, every single, because there's multiple shotguns, so you can have I don't know the names, so it would be much easier to describe this if they had the names.
It'd be like a difference between like a double barrel and a single barrel, or like an automatic, or
yeah. And it's fine. Like, you can see, it's pretty easy to see the colors of each weapon, and just see if that weapon is better than the one you have. But the thing about loot is, whenever you kill someone, it's not like a death box in Apex Legends. It's like in Fortnite, where everything just explodes out of.
It's like a
all their equipment just explodes. Yeah. And it doesn't explode outward. Well, currently it doesn't explode outward. It's all just on top of each other. So if you're trying to pick up a very specific thing, like, oh, I need rifle ammo, you have to look through dozens of random stuff to find that particular thing. And even if you can see it on the ground, you can't just look at that thing and grab that. So it was pretty frustrating, like, trying to find, oh, I need this ammo, I need the shield things that are in the game. Yeah, it's
like PUBG does it really well, I think, probably out of necessity, where when you're above like a big stack like that, you literally hit your start button to go into your inventory, and it just lists everything that's on the floor, and you can go through and pick what you want.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So it basically treats the floor inventory like a death box if you go into your inventory. So it does get around that big stack of things on the floor kind of issue.
Right.
But if there's no way of doing that, then that's a problem.
Yeah. They said they're working on it. They have a temporary fix where all the loot explodes out further, so it's not all just in one stack.
Okay.
But it's a temporary fix, but so many people are still mad about it. I don't know.
Yeah.
So after playing solos, I went to squads, and I tried it out once and won that game. So this is
quit on top. We're done. Finish.
Yeah, uninstall it. We're good.
Well, that's the thing about most BR games. I've tried everything. I've tried Fortnite, I've tried PUBG, I've tried the H1Z1, and for most of those, I got my first win, and I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah,
Apex Legends is the only one was like, I got my first win. I could keep going on this.
Yeah, I could do that again.
Honestly, Apex is the one that's had that most pull of, you want to do it again.
Yeah.
You want to do it again.
Well, Apex has such for me, the round times for Apex are perfect. Like a long round might go 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Like there's never really like, all right, let's get in here for possibly an hour and a half round. Nothing like that.
That's a long PUBG round is what that is. Like an hour and a half of running through the desert, and then I died.
Right. Whoops.
Yeah. So I will say the circle in Firestorm is really cool, because it's just a big wall of fire just closing on.
That's perfect. It's a good touch.
It's
it's something that engine does really well. Like fire in the Frostbite engine is something truly spectacular. Go and watch a blimp crash in Battlefield 1 and you'll see what I mean.
Right.
Like, I love the fire in that engine, and if it's just a wall of fire, then that's even better.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so cool at like when it was just my squad versus another squad, and the circle was so small, so there was just fire everywhere. And it kind of felt to me like the end of Star Wars 3, where they're fighting in the lava area.
Oh, right.
It's just like it's just red everywhere, and
that's cool.
There's artillery strikes going off, and it was a pretty epic ending to it. Yeah. But the win screen, or like once you kill that last person, is very anticlimactic, because it's like there's no like big pop-up or anything saying you won. It's just it's like a silent text that pops up and it's like, hey, victory, V for victory,
hey, good job, I guess.
Yeah. There's no big declaration of you are the champions. Here is a big special cutscene.
American flags and
what else do I have? That win I had made me really wish that you could set it to auto record, like once you won. Like I think all VR should have this. That would be a really good feature. Just when you win, and apparently on PC with an NVIDIA card, you can set it to auto record whenever you get a kill and whenever you win. So like that would be great on consoles as well.
Yeah, or at least ask like, hey, do you want us to save the last 30 minutes?
Yeah. It's something that's actually worth mentioning about Superhot. On the Xbox One, I'm playing it. When you do the whole replay thing and it plays the level back in normal speed, and it just looks like this cool. If you hit save that replay, it just saves a clip to your dashboard, to your Xbox of that replay.
That's great.
What else do I have on this? I think if it were in Battlefield 5 at launch, it would have been something really special. Like, it would have had a much better reception. Battlefield 5 in general and Firestorm would have had a much better reception. But I think in a post Apex Legends world, it's just not doing it for me.
Yeah.
Like I know for some people that have that squad that likes the tactical stuff of Battlefield, it's a really fun game type, because I was watching someone stream it with a squad of 4 and it looked really fun. But then again, like any game with friends is really fun, so I don't know how much of it was Firestorm and how much of it was just them.
I mean, I absolutely adore Brute Force on the original Xbox.
Right.
Because I played that game with my dad from start to finish, and I think that game is incredible. I know for a fact that game is hot garbage, but I still love it because I played it with my dad.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's all I have this week.
I forgot that the Costume Quest TV show came out, so my kid and I watched a couple episodes of that. That's a pretty good TV show. They take the 4 characters from Costume Quest and they take the dumb costumes like Super Jacked Lincoln, and they put it in the show. And
is Candy Corn in it? Tell me Candy Corn is in it.
I have not yet seen Candy Corn, but we haven't watched the whole season, so I'm not entirely sure.
Okay.
It's well voice acted. The animation is really good. It carries over a lot of the charm from the show, or from the game, into the show, and it seems pretty good. So it's on Amazon Prime. I think that's the only place it is, but it seems like a good time. So go check that out.
I should as well.
Yeah, I did.
I think it's the same.
I did play some Destiny 2. I got a bunch of really good pickup groups this week, and we knocked out a ton of stuff from Tier 3 Reckoning. Tier 3 Reckoning
is the This is the mode where you deposit and withdraw your things to get horde waves.
Yes, it's the sort of quasi horde mode.
Just a refresher on terminology, because there's too much of that stuff going around.
Sorry, yes, there's too many modes where it's like the something. Yeah, the Reckoning is really interesting because tier 1 is very much, we're gonna spawn a bunch of enemies, fill your bar to 100%, and you win. And then tier 2 is, when you fill your bar, a gate opens up. You build a bridge, section by section. You capture it section by section, which is really cool. And there's non-stop enemies coming at you. And then you teleport to somewhere else and you fight a boss. The, I guess, good and bad thing about tier 3 is it's the same thing as tier 2, just more difficult. So there isn't another phase after you beat the boss. It's just waves, bridge, then boss. It's nice because you don't have to learn yet another set of mechanics. You don't have to do yet another thing. That just, it's harder to fill up your bar. There's less time to build a bridge, that sort of stuff. I'm starting to build the really good gear sets that you get from there to bring back into Gambit Prime. So I'm now almost at the point where I have a full set of Reaper gear, and the Reaper role is basically killing enemies as fast as you can so that your teammates can pick up the motes. So that feels pretty good. I'm seeing some of that stuff starting to pay off. You know, that push and pull between Gambit Prime and Reckoning. So far, so good. What I was talking about when we were talking about the struggles of getting that achievement in Apex Legends is I'm working on my 3rd seal now. So those are the titles. You know, you finish a whole bunch of really tough triumphs in the game, and they give you a title and they give you a seal. The one I'm working on right now is Chronicler. That's the lore seal. I've been working on it. You know, all of us have been working on it for like 4 months at this point. We can't get it for a bunch of stuff because of resets, and I won't go into it. But I need 1 triumph left in regular Gambit, or I can do it in Gambit Prime too, but I'm not going to punish myself. And that will finish up the lore book for Gambit, and I cannot make this happen. I've been trying to do this for months, and it's killing me. You have to invade the other enemies, the enemy team's playfield, pick up 3 motes that they have dropped, and then get out of there safely. It's called Mote Thief, which is a really good title. The hard part is, when you kill other players, they don't drop motes. The motes only drop from enemies that they have killed, and they haven't picked up those motes yet. So you basically have to run towards the enemies, the other player, try and scoop up some stuff. Range. Yeah, and then try and escape, and I just cannot. What I'm really waiting for is, and I don't want to do this, but I'll probably have to resort to doing this, is waiting until I face a 4-stack and sending one of them a message and saying like, "Hey, please, I just need the triumph. Like, don't shoot me. Just let me scoop this stuff up, and then I'll invade and you can shoot me, whatever. But I just need this triumph, and then we'll never have to do this again." So yay, Destiny 2, punishing myself with something I don't want to do for a meaningless triumph and seal that will probably not carry over to Destiny 3.
Nope. So, nothing like some boosting to get some stuff done.
Yeah, God, if we could only boost a little bit. I tried.
Let me tell you about TrueTrophies.com.
Thank you for reminding me. I wonder if there's something I can go investigate in there.
They have a calendar, and there are people who do workarounds on this stuff all of the time. Let me tell you about the multiplayer achievements I got in Elite Dangerous by literally just joining a boosting squad.
Nice. I'll have to go check that out because I tried to do it with a TVGP alumnus, the Hannah. I thought, well, we have a private. Well, there's now Gambit private matches, so let's try and go do it in there. Triumphs are disabled in private matches, which makes sense. But also, go to hell, Bungie. I just want to be done with this.
Can you do a server select?
You cannot.
Oh.
So basically, you just have to keep rolling the dice. the optimal thing is you have two squads of 4 people. You both matchmake at the same time, and hopefully you get matched against each other. If only I had like 7 friends.
Yes. 7 friends who could be on in the middle of the day is the problem here.
Anytime, really. I'm open to whenever anyone can help me get this triumph. And you have to be on PS4. So.
Well, I'm out.
Yeah. Sorry. But enough about Destiny 2. I got into the early access for Elder Scrolls Blades. How
was this, other than the issues?
I have not really run it. What do you mean by... I haven't run into any issues. What issues are people saying?
I've seen a couple of people talking about having issues logging in and sign-ups and stuff like that.
So what people need to remember is read the website. If you fire up the game and it says, thanks for checking us out, you haven't been accepted by early access. I don't know why people don't understand this. I got the email and I said, all right, well, let's try downloading it. I downloaded it from the iOS store. It's on iOS and Android right now. It's not on all the other platforms right now. So I know it's going to come out for like PC and OS X and VR and a web browser and all that stuff.
Get the real money makers in there first.
Exactly. So I downloaded, pretty small, fired up for the first time, log in with my Bethesda account or whatever it's called. I said, hey, we need to download additional content. It's 870 megs. Does that sound okay? And I was like, okay, I guess. So I download all that, create my character. It has all the Elder Scrolls races you would want, all the normal character creation, all that stuff is in there. You go through a quick tutorial thing. It dumps you in a town. You're starting to rebuild the town, start accepting quests and all that. Interesting thing is, it seems how the loop seems to work is you go back to town, get a couple of quests. Whenever you accept a quest and start it, it teleports you to a dungeon. You do whatever the quest wants you to do. Once you're done, you click, I'm done, and it teleports you back to town. As of so far, I don't know if there's some larger open world that maybe I don't have access to, but that seems to be the loop already. For better or for worse, it feels like an Elder Scrolls game. Like, it feels very much like, hey, this is Skyrim on my phone, and I tap, and there's a little Lost Odyssey, you know, that little bar, that little circle that fills up, and if you hit it at the right time, you do a critical attack. That's in Blades. That's basically how you attack. Except you touch on your screen to start filling up the circle, and you let go. And when you let go, the character swings or shoots or whatever.
So it swings on the push and it swings on the pull?
No. No. You tap, and then when you let go, they swing. But yes, I like that callback. I found it fine to control vertically because you tap to move, so just tap somewhere and your character shuffles off. How I really liked controlling it actually is horizontally, or what do they call it, landscape, on phones. I like controlling it that way because it actually gives you 2 virtual sticks, but oddly, how I like controlling it is I like using the left stick to walk your character around, and I like using the right part of the screen to drag the camera around, but not use the stick.
Okay, a bit like playing third-person mode in any of the Elder Scrolls games where you just rotate the camera and go in the direction that you rotated. Very
much so, yeah. Like, I'm always holding up on the stick, and I don't have to touch to move anymore. You still can if you want, and then you get to move your head around as you go. So that feels pretty good, although it's this really weird left brain, right brain sort of thing. So far, it feels fine. You get these chests every once in a while in a dungeon, and it takes X number of seconds to open them because, hey, it's a mobile game. And you can rush them with premium currency that you seem to get pretty regularly. So, I don't know.
It's a beta.
Yeah, it's a beta.
Yeah, like it's a beta, it's early access, like it feels fine. It feels like a mobile Elder Scrolls game. I'm really curious to see what this experience turns out to be on like the PS4 or Xbox One or a PC. You know, does it look way better? Is it 60 frames? You know, how does that stuff interact with my character that I'm carrying from, you know, that's hooked up to my Bethesda account that I'm carrying from device to device?
Yeah.
I don't think there's really any time frame for that, but I think that's what I'm pretty excited for. I downloaded Path of Exile for PS4 that finally came out for PS4. Like, it launched in 2013 on PC, and it launched probably in like 2015 on Xbox One.
Yep.
That game looks good, runs at 60 frames. I mean, it's that genre of Diablo-like looters. I have never seen the skill tree before. I wrote in my notes, I've never seen the skill tree, what the F? And a laughing emoji. Yep. It's like someone thought, hey, the sphere grid from Final Fantasy X was really cool. How about we put like 10 times the number of nodes in there? It's hilariously huge.
So we've got the triple step of spheres here. You've got the Yakuza 0, you've got the Final Fantasy, and then you've got the Path of Exile. Yeah,
Path of Exile is like... there's hundreds of spheres there. It's insane. I haven't played that much because, honestly, I looked at the spheres and I went, cool, I have 1 point to spend here, and I have 600 spheres. You know, okay, maybe this is not the relaxing loot game that I was thinking of. Torchlight 2 just got announced for consoles, so that's more the experience I'm looking for right now.
It's been a long time since I've heard that name.
Yeah, well, the studio closed down that made Torchlight 2 after Hob was not a success.
Yeah.
And what company owns that now? Perfect Worlds, I think. They said, hey, we're going to bring Torchlight 2 to consoles finally. And I'm like, hell yeah, I played a lot of Torchlight 1 on the 360, and I will definitely buy Torchlight 2.
No, I don't need another Diablo-like game in my life.
I know.
Torchlight.
Do you ever play that on 360, Monkey?
Torchlight? No, I think I played it on PC.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't play a ton of Torchlight 2 because it was on PC, and I wasn't playing a lot of stuff at the time, but man, those games are good.
Yeah.
Back down that rabbit hole.
I think it's weird for me playing like Diablo-like games on the PC now, because my first Diablo-like game was Diablo 3 on a console,
right?
So I have next to no experience in that, and just clicking everything, it feels so weird to me.
Yeah. It's weird how well both Torchlight 1 and Diablo 3 got that stuff right on consoles.
Yeah, they absolutely nailed it,
and Torchlight
saved you from having to buy new mouses every like 5 days.
That's right. Yeah. And last but not least, thank you to Servo for sending me a copy of Risk of Rain 2. We'll be talking about the Gearbox conference thing in the news stories. But they
Can we not?
What's that?
Can we not?
Oh no, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. Moon, you and I have one specific thing to talk about during the conference that I think is very exciting. But there's a deal now. I don't know if it's expired yet, but basically it has expired? Okay. So the deal was you buy Risk of Rain 2 early access and you'd get another copy for your friend. There's a BOGO. I've been not concerned about Risk of Rain 2, but you know, when Hopu Games showed it off months and months ago, they're like, hey, here's Risk of Rain 2, and it was in 3D, and I was like, yeah, wait, that's not what I want. Like, I want you to make another 2D Risk of Rain. Like, that first one was so good. I fired it up before the show today, because I had like maybe about a half an hour to play, and I really needed to tear myself away from playing this game. So it does
what Risk of Rain 1 did, except in 3D.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because they managed to take it sounds crazy, but they managed to take Risk of Rain and successfully make a 3D game out of it. And it feels very much the same. It has turrets and it has drones and has these little containers you're opening up, and you're spending the money that drops from enemies to open up chests that have items in it, and the items stack. Like, you know, it's a proper Risk of Rain sequel. But at the same time, you use mouse and keyboard. Or I have my PS4 DualShock 4 hooked up to my PC all the time. I just hit the X button and it said, "Oh, you have a controller, cool. Like, here's all the Xbox mapping," which is fine. You know, it's still in early access, but that stuff worked right away, which is great because Risk of Rain 1 did not have controller support. It's crazy that it works, and it's really, really good. The same composer is back, which is great. And I think that the unquantifiable thing that's great about Risk of Rain 2 is it feels like Risk of Rain. In movement and shooting, and it has a lot of the same enemies, and it has a lot of the same bosses, and, you know, you're scouring the level to find the teleporter, and you're trying to level up as fast as you can before the game gets harder and harder before you start the teleporter. Like, all this stuff feels right. And they managed to put that in 3D and make the movement feel good too. Like, the Commando's the character that's unlocked by default in both games. And it feels right. It feels like it did in the 2D game. And it is hard in the way that Risk of Rain 1 was hard when you started that game. And a lot like Binding of Isaac was hard when you started that game, where it's like, I can't even finish the first level because the boss is too hard, and I'm maybe not, you know, realizing how I min-max my stats or any of that stuff. And it's really great to play a game like this that I know I like out of the gate, and it's really difficult, and it's in early access, and it works that well already.
Yeah.
So far, so good. I really don't have anything bad to say about it. It's more Risk of Rain, just in another dimension. And
I'm assuming this is going to get added into our list, along with the original.
I think the original is definitely in our We Roguelike It list, and I believe the second one is in the upcoming games sheet on our giant master sheet.
So it was already in there.
Yeah. So, but, you know, it won't get added to the proper list maybe until it's, you know, more of a, maybe until 1.0. You know, it's on like 0.153 is, I think it's the final version number, I think. Yeah, sorry, someone is trolling us in Mixer. What a shock.
Shocker.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to ban this other account, since you're following around with multiple accounts. Thanks, dude. But that's all I've been playing this week, so let's take a break.
Yep.
Thanks, Mixer, for being classy.
Yep.
As always.
Interesting.
It is getting so hot in here. I feel like they haven't been doing any work back here.
Open your window at least while we're on break, dude.
Let's see. Oh, that's the stuff. So, the technical issues we have with with Discord are interesting because Skype will give you robot voice. Discord just seems to just drop audio. It's pretty interesting.
Solution 1, solution 2.
Yeah. So far, Discord seems to be, at least in the video and audio quality standpoint, seems to be winning. But I mean, over Skype, that's not going to be very hard.
No, especially not for my video, which runs at more than 2 frames a second.
Right. Yeah, it looks pretty good on stream. Oh god, we have so many news stories. Jesus.
If you go to other channels on Discord, the video is like in one side of the screen.
Oh, nice.
And it changes whenever someone talks.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh yeah, Skype does that when you minimize it. It does a
little pop-up window.
Talking now thing.
Yeah. Man, how many accounts do you have, dude? Fucking get a hobby.
It's not one, dude. It's a group / clan, whatever you want to call them. Let's use clan because that's more offensive these days. Because they all start with the EZG.
Harassment / trolling. Reason. Ban evasion. Send report. I should add threatening in there too. Oh well. There's ban you.
What kind of a name is Mucus?
Yeah, I don't know why. What should we call you? Call me Mucus.
And of a weekday, Mucus is my weekend name. Of
Right.
a weekday, you can call me Snot.
Please, please. Mr. Mucus was my father.
Which I don't know if Snot is a thing over here or if that's just an English thing.
No, snot is over here, yeah. We've all got snot.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody
A
poops.
lot today.
Yeah, Monkey's over there dying.
Monkey's just full of snot today.
Yeah. Okay. Are you guys ready to finish this thing out?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Pretend I am.
Yeah.
I'm ready. For the apocalypse.
Well, on that note, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk about releases for the week of April 1st, 2019. Hob, the Definitive Edition, comes out on the Switch. Speaking of...
Is that a game based on the Fast and the Furious role of The Rock?
I don't believe so. I believe it's a fantasy game, but a different fantasy than The Rock would show up in.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's talk about news stories here. We were just talking about Gearbox's PAX East presentation thing.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the non-Magic stuff. I know you guys are all here for I open up the cellophane and the card isn't here.
No.
I don't know how you did that, but let's stop doing Magic on stage, please, Randy.
How about
That was
instead
so
of not
funny.
doing Magic on stage? That's fine. Do Magic on stage. Can we just not have Randy on stage? Please.
Sure, that would work too. They did announce a Borderlands board game. Looks like it's probably out on April 3rd, along with everything else.
What's it called?
Oh, God. Hold on. The one week I don't open up the news stories alongside everything else. It is called... Nope, that's Tales from the Borderlands. That's just Skags. That's just... I don't know. It's something about Tiny Tina, which is fine.
And they missed the biggest chance they could have ever had here.
Okay.
Because it's not called Borderlands, Board Lands.
Right. That is a Tiny Tina's Robot Tea Party Borderlands card game. The thing that is interesting to me is it's coming on April 4th. Is it's only $20 and their average game time is 15 minutes. So that's pretty appealing. A lot of these card games are sort of like, you see so many card games that are like, all right, here's the 50-page rule book and tuck in for 6 hours, you know, like.
Yeah. They seem to be learning that like shorter game types are better, like that sushi card game that we have in the house. We literally have I don't know what the Americans call it. It's a chest of drawers in England, like a vanity with like hundreds of drawers and stuff in it downstairs, and 3 of the cupboards of it are full of board games
Right.
that we just don't play.
Yeah.
But we take the sushi one whenever we go over for Thanksgiving and Christmas. We always take the sushi card game with us. If it was more child friendly, I might be tempted to take $1 Million Butt, which is the Rooster Teeth card game.
You're definitely not taking Cards Against Humanity with you.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
They did announce the Handsome Collection is getting a 4K update on April 3rd. So, based on everything I've seen, before it was 1080p 60 frames. Now it looks like it's 4K 60 frames, which is insane. I don't... What engine is this thing running on nowadays?
Maybe they should have done this when it came out originally.
Yeah, I feel like they didn't port it, and I feel like spending the energy to do 4K then probably wouldn't have mattered. And I also think probably the work they're doing on Borderlands 3 might have bled back downstream. Otherwise, like there's no... this is a free update, so there's really no reason for them to do it. They also talked about a full Borderlands 1 remaster, 4K as well. Golden keys and skins are going to be in there. 4-player co-op up from 2, including couch co-op for 4 people. And that will be out April 3rd for some amount of money. I still have no idea.
Yep.
I hope $20. Gearbox.
I'm just going to put my hands in the air here and say I'm glad that everybody seems pumped about this game.
Borderlands 1?
All of them.
Yeah.
I couldn't care less right now.
Yeah.
I don't want to go back and play Borderlands 1 or 2. I've already played hundreds of hours of those games.
Yeah.
I haven't played the pre-sequel, which from everything I hear was a great game, but I had no interest in playing it at the time. I still kind of don't. And I'll be honest, if it's just another Borderlands game, I just don't care.
So let's talk about Borderlands 3 a little bit then. I thought the thing that you'd be interested about in the trailer is that Reese is in there.
And you audio cut out completely then.
Okay, cool. Reese is in the trailer. The guy with the mustache holding that holographic thing.
I did see a photo of him there, and I was like, oh, good. So they're tying that directly into the canon of the world.
Right.
I think
that's the
really
best
cool
Borderlands game. For anyone who hasn't played it, Reese is one of the 2 main characters from Tales of the Borderlands. An incredible game you should go play. You should play all 4 of them, because they're all really good. I like the little gun running around with the legs. I thought that was great. The thing that they are seeming to do that I was hoping they would do is basically, it's Borderlands on multiple worlds. And I think it's really interesting. So they're going to announce the release date on April 3rd. So check out this upcoming week. I feel pretty opposite of you, Moon. I feel like it has been so long since I played the pre-sequel, which I really like. Pre-sequel is probably my favorite out of the 3 traditional Borderlands games. The idea of them potentially making another Borderlands game holds a lot of appeal to me. I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm not going to say, like, I put in my prayer. Yeah. But if they were to make another Borderlands game, and to me, tighten up the shooting a little bit, completely fix the driving, please God.
But the driving is fine. It drives like a warthog in Halo, and that's not a problem.
Yeah, and those suck. Those warthogs in Halo suck.
They're fine.
But like, if you were to tighten up a lot of that stuff, but keep the core of Borderlands, the looting and the quest system and the larger environments, and it looks like they're carrying the timeline forward. Tiny Tina is much older now, and a lot of the characters that were showing up, like Maya is older, and all these other characters.
Brick's got gray hair now as well.
Who does?
Brick. Got gray hair.
That great mustache. But for me, that feels really appealing, especially in the face of a lot of other loot shooters. Because other than Division 2, a lot of them have really let down, including Division 1, Destiny 1, and Destiny 2, and certainly Anthem. And I think Borderlands is kind of a known quantity at this point. If you come out with another Borderlands, cool. Like, my wife and I can play that, and we'll have a bunch of fun. I don't think that's... Yeah. For me, I don't think that's a bad thing.
No, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. They're coming out. I think the problem is the problem I have with it is if it's just like Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 1, it's more of the same. And at this point, the world is not interesting enough anymore for me to actually want to go back in it for the story.
Right.
And if they try and change it too much and go down the games as a service rabbit hole, then
that'd be a problem.
I'm not 100% out if they try and go down that road as well.
I can't do that to myself for a third game.
Exactly. So, I mean, I'll wait and see, and I'll see what people say. But I don't know if I would need another 120-hour campaign, because I did love Borderlands 1 and I did love Borderlands 2, but those were long games.
Yeah.
Like, really long games. And I can't remember who it was who posted on Twitter. It might have been Patrick Klepek, but if you want to get me interested in a game in 2019, you say 8 to 10 hour campaign, and I am in.
Right.
I don't need 500 hours.
And I think the thing with Borderlands is you know it's going to have a season pass that will likely be worth it, as they've been worth it in the past couple games. But if you're already playing a games as a service game, even if Borderlands 3 isn't, unless you're like really hankering for another Borderlands game, waiting until the Game of the Year edition might not be a bad idea. And the part of the thing that I'm concerned about is there's already a lot of blind excitement around the game, which is great. Like, I want more. I wrote this on Twitter. I really want more people to be excited about a game announcement instead of like, oh god, here we go, another blah blah blah, you know, like just taking any opportunity to crap on it. But you have to be careful, because Gearbox didn't make pre-sequel. Pre-sequel's really good. It's been like a decade since Borderlands 2. A lot of different people there, which could be good, could be bad. It's a hugely different company, and the industry overall is really different. So I think a level of caution would be great, and let's not Anthem it again. Let's not get super excited about a game and then it comes out and it's fine. Never mind. But, you know, and let's not get ourselves too excited and then get ourselves let down.
Yeah. I mean, if you're excited about it, good for you. If you're hyped as hell because this game looks right up your alley, great.
Yeah.
All the more power to you. I'm going to wait and see, because I don't trust Gearbox no more.
Yeah, Gearbox, I think that's probably the best point, is Gearbox and Randy Pitchford. It's been a long 10 years, and
yeah, since Borderlands 2, I mean, what have we had? We've had Aliens, Colonial Marines.
Right. The Duke
them Nukem
saving
forever.
Duke Nukem Forever, quote unquote.
Yeah, and being real proud of the work they did on that, which...
Yeah. Other than Borderlands, Gearbox has not put out much good stuff, even before Borderlands 1. So, like, people would do well to remember some of that stuff.
And I'm pretty sure the main thing I loved about Borderlands 2 was the story. And I'm pretty sure that writer is no longer there.
Probably not. I would assume not. No.
I think that was actually... Oh, I'll probably got this wrong, but I'm pretty sure the voice actress for Tiny Tina, it was her brother who wrote Borderlands 2.
Anthony Birch wrote Borderlands 2.
Yeah. Yes. So Anthony Birch is Ashley Birch's older brother, I believe, and she was the one who voice acted Tiny Tina.
Yep.
Also starred in Hey Ashley, What You Playing on YouTube, which was one of the best YouTube shows ever.
And she's Aloy in Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know who's writing the third one. The rumor seems to be that it might be Mikey Newman. Sorry. The rumor is it might be Mikey Newman. So that would be interesting to see. But like, part of the thing I'm sort of excited about with Borderlands 3 is getting a lot of fresh blood in, where it's people that loved Borderlands 2 and now they're get a chance to work in another one. Like, what would you do to modernize the Borderlands games?
Yeah, and Cosmic Storm in chat kindly brings up the best
divisive nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Borderlands seems to be one of those game series where you are either all in or all out. I don't think there's many middle people in the Borderlands universe anymore.
No.
Be it Claptrap, Tiny Tina.
Yep.
There are.
I don't like Marcus, the weirdest person to not like in Borderlands. I don't like him.
Handsome Jack.
Yeah, Handsome Jack is divisive. Yeah.
Oh
man.
I don't know why. I like most of pretty much all the characters okay with.
I mean, obviously Torque is the top of the pops there.
Well, yeah, but I mean Moxie's great, especially when you learn more about her. But I mean, good on them. They're releasing another Borderlands. It's about time.
Yep.
I will wait and see, and depending on what my install is like, my hard drive space is like when it comes out, I might end up picking up the Game of the Year edition, but I've got too much to play between now and then, so
yeah.
I'm okay.
And to be honest, we don't know the release date yet, so we don't know if it's even coming out this year. If it's coming out next year, then that's a totally different story, where it's like, I might be way more interested in that, as a 2020 game.
Do you guys think it might be
cross-gen
release? Yeah, release for the next gen.
I don't know. I think if it isn't, then I feel like that's a game where the next gen comes out and Gearbox and 2K are like, and now here's a handsome collection, like the Twins collection for the next console, and it's whatever, just AR cyber drugs, who knows.
I mean, depending on the release date for it, I could see it being last of this gen, early quote-unquote up-res for next gen.
Yeah.
Or I could very easily see it being cross-gen, like play it on either, kind of like Destiny, the original Destiny was.
Right.
The biggest thing for me here is cross-gen games. Everybody is pushing for the next generation of platforms to be backwards compatible, because the amount of libraries that are getting bigger and bigger digitally has never been the condition it is now. So this becomes a case of, is there any such thing as a cross-gen game anymore? Or if you buy it on the store, do you automatically get that game on the next gen?
Sort of like the Xbox One X. Like you download a bigger one with better textures because you're downloading on the X. Interesting. Yeah. That's a great point. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we might start seeing some of that stuff at E3. Maybe not the specifics of like, what if I download it on my new Xbox? Do I get the, but you're right. I mean, like, I have a growing digital library, even though I really like buying stuff physically, mostly because of library sharing. And I don't want to lose that. And my PS4 the disk drive is dying, so like I don't want to have that thing hooked up forever.
I mean, I don't trust Nintendo to do the next generation and have backwards compatibility, because they never have, really.
They can't even get the NES right. Like, they put on Star Tropics on the Nintendo Switch Online, and they didn't even give you the code from the manual you need. Come on.
Perfect audio cut out then.
Yep.
Let's move on. Let's move on to next news story here. Apple announces Apple Arcade, sadly with 100 exclusive games. The service will be available this fall. No pricing announced. It seems to be a subscription service, so just like the rest of them. Compatible with Apple TV, iPhone, iPad, and Mac. All the games will be playable offline. Sounds like they're basically making their own version of Game Pass. But this comes on the heels of Stadia, Google Stadia, where it's sort of, you got your streaming option, then you have your Game Pass option. But man, that's a super bummer that there are 100 exclusive games to this stuff, because
honestly, until they announce the list, I won't be bothered, because
they announced publishers, but that's it.
Yeah, this is Apple. They didn't give Ridiculous Fishing the props it deserves. That is one of the best games on their store.
It's a great game.
They messed up threes and allowed 1028 to steal.
All the copies. Yeah.
So, you know what? Number one, I don't own an iOS device, so I don't care.
Right.
But this is Apple. They've never had the best curation, shall we say?
Yes. Not Steam quality, but that's the bottom of the barrel.
they're close to Steam.
Yeah,
quality.
they're not much better. I mean, they
look
did
at
announce
their featured games, and that's all the free-to-play, like best-selling crap that they can put on their store.
Yeah, they said though that none of these games are gonna have in-app purchases in them. I think the understanding is you pay for the subscription, so you don't get boned twice. But that's not in this news story, so don't quote me on that. They did announce a couple of really big publishers, though, like Skybound, Annapurna, Mistwalker, Hironobu Sakaguchi's studio. You Lost Odyssey, those guys.
Yeah. I mean, Skybound, I'm thinking Walking Dead games.
Yep, those guys. Way Forward, the retro games. Clay, the Don't Starve guys.
Yeah.
Hipster Whale, Sumo Digital, Night School. They made that spooky Oxenfree. They made Oxenfree. Disney, Sega, Konami. Like, they have the big publishers and developers you'd really want, but the part that I really am upset about, and I'm in the iOS ecosystem, so I have devices and all that. I hate the idea of like this paywall to preservation. I am, as months go on and years go on, I'm more and more interested in games preservation, and this sort of stuff makes that really tough. So that's sort of a bummer. Speaking of bummers, let's talk about Sony's first State of Play. I didn't really have high expectations, and I feel like those were met. They opened up with Iron Man VR, which looks fine. That looks about what you would want from an Iron Man VR game. They got a pretty good voice actor for Iron Man, I have to say. That had the right amount of smarminess. The game that they showed that I really am interested in is Observer. This is the thriller/horror game where a bunch of people are trapped in a space station and you control the space station itself.
Is that the Elijah Wood game?
No, that was Transference. That came out a while ago and like just landed.
Oh yeah.
With a thud. No, this is a new game. I don't remember what the studio's name is. But that looks pretty cool. That's one of those games where it reminds me a lot of Tacoma, where you look at it and you're like, all right, yeah, I'm really interested in that. That could be pretty cool. I don't want to talk too much about Days Gone, except they kept calling the zombies freakers, and that really bothers me for some reason. I don't like that at all.
Come on, it's a zombie game in 2019. You've got to differentiate yourself somehow.
Right. You can't say the Z word, as we learned from Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead. Yep. Yeah. Don't say the Z word.
Yeah. And lastly, No Man's Sky gets VR support this summer with the new expansion. That seems like it would be pretty fun. So, but you'd have to have a PSVR.
Yeah, I don't know if I feel like being melted alive inside of my spacesuit in virtual reality just as of yet.
And the one thing that I'm going to be interested in for that in VR is No Man's Sky is such a chill game, and most VR games like to break up the action so you can sort of rest your eyes a lot. Like Tetris Effect, they talked about, they have those segments of levels because they didn't want you to play through the full game for like 2 hours and hurt your eyes. I'm curious how they're going to deal with No Man's Sky with that, where it's like, are you just going to have the headset on for 4 or 5 hours, take it off, and just there's blood filling your mask? Like, I don't know how they're gonna deal with that, but it's a nice improvement for No Man's Sky, a game that was not great at launch, but manages to keep getting better.
Yep.
Next news story: Twitch Prime members get a year of Nintendo Switch Online. Little interesting deal here. Basically, if you're Twitch Prime, which if you have an Amazon Prime account, go hook it up with your Twitch account. You get free stuff every month.
So much free stuff.
And basically, to start off with, they gave you 3 months, and then as long as you're a Twitch Prime member for 60 days in a row, they give you the other 9 months, which I get it. So I got Nintendo Switch Online for myself because I thought, well, what better price than free-ish?
Free, yes.
And it took me probably the better part of an hour to sign up for a Japanese account so I could download the Famicom.
Of course you did. You had to go above and beyond.
Hey, there are some pretty good games on there.
Couldn't just be like me, where it's like, oh, I have an account. There you go. Now I'm online.
They're free. I'm gonna download free stuff. I got time. I don't have money. But now I can play Tetris 99, which I'm excited about. Because you can't play that without Switch Online.
So have fun with that.
Yeah, and if you have Nintendo Switch Online already, you can use these codes to extend your subscription. So it's not just a sign up for the first time sort of thing.
We should note that it's only the individual one, not the family.
Not the family one, yeah.
Oh, that's true.
I currently have the family plan because a bunch of my family has Switches.
Right.
So yeah, I don't gain anything with this.
Bummer. Yeah, but you do save a ton of money with that family plan, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next news story is Sony is going to stop selling digital download codes via retailers, and they're only going to be available via PSN as of April 1st, 2019, the day that this comes out. Sony says,
I'm curious.
This decision was made in order to continue to align key businesses globally, which is basically like, whatever. This is weird.
So basically, they have just cut out the entirety of the Amazon market.
Yep.
They've cut out GameStop, which, whatever, that's fine. They've cut out Game in the UK.
Right.
Fine. What? UK listeners, does Game still exist? I haven't been home in a while.
I don't think it does, actually. I think you buy them at
Games
Tesco
came back recently, but I'm not sure. Yeah. But they're cutting out all of the major chains, and everybody is taking these giant strides towards this digital download future that we're going towards, except for ISPs who are only interested in stealing your money for going towards their desired future.
Correct.
And Sony have just cut the legs out from a very large market of digital download purchases.
The only thing that's weird about this for me is this is odd. I largely think this is a good move because the sale prices on PSN were never reflected on places like GameStop and Amazon. So you could go get a game for $20 on PSN, but you can buy the card for $60 at GameStop. And then the two were never really reconciled. So I think largely you'll get a cheaper price. And Sony is saying you can buy the dollar, like $25, $10 cards, $100, whatever, in store still. So you can still gift someone money towards PSN. But it's one of those things where it's like, what was the crux behind this? Like, were you getting too many support calls because somebody bought, Battlefield 5 for $60 in GameStop, and then they came home and it's like, wait, but it's $20 on the PSN store? Like, this is one of those choices where it's like, I don't get it. Do we now also not get Humble Bundle PSN sales anymore? Can publishers and developers no longer give you PSN codes? Because that's my biggest question, where it's like, if I Kickstarter a game and I can get it on PSN, am I just going to get like a $20 code, or am I going to get a game code? That sort of thing.
I think stuff like that, when it comes directly from the publishers, will be fine. The only thing I can think of here is they're sick and fed up of losing that 20% to the brick and mortar stores.
That's true. Yeah.
That's literally the only thing I can think of, because they have just essentially shut out anybody older than 40 from going and buying a digital game card. And it's no offense to people over 40. Monkey looks like he's about 12. Boston's like 39. I'm heading up there really quick myself.
Yeah.
But we are the generation of people who understand. You go in, you go to the store, you buy a code for the game that you want. Grandma is not going to go into a game store and get a $50 code. She's going to want to buy the game that her grandkid has asked for.
Yep.
And if he specifies digital, then she can't do that no more.
Right.
It's like, I don't know, it feels like they've just cut off the legs from the older market.
Yeah, it's so weird, because I think you're right. It it does stop the birthday, someone buying a birthday present at Walmart, where it's just here's a Battlefield 5 in a box and here's a Battlefield 5 on a card, whichever one you want. They're both available, whatever the kids you're buying it for said they wanted it for. And that to me is baffling, because I think the market that a lot of people forget about is the middle of America, like the DSL or wireless, satellite internet people, where either they have to buy it on a disc because download speeds are impossible, or they want this digital thing. Especially, this to me it'd be even crazier if Microsoft would do this, because they have a discless Xbox One on the horizon. Thankfully, Sony's not going that way, but like, it's one of those choices where it's like, I sort of get it, but I kind of really don't.
What is the thing that all retail and sell people who are interested in sales numbers, they're interested in 2 times of the year? Black Friday, Christmas. That's when the price drops happen. That's when we've got to have this out by one of those 2 dates because they're big sale numbers. Yeah. It's not, me or you going into the store and buying these games. We're going to buy it online. We're going to buy it through their service. We're going to do that because that's us.
Yeah, I buy it on the website and I click download to my PS4.
Exactly. We're going to sign up for 3 different websites which show us the best digital sales at all times. Like, that's what we do.
PSprices.com.
Yes. That marketplace, those holiday sales, they're not us. They're the people who are going to go into brick and mortar stores and buy these games either on disc or on digital or by the code.
They're buying a physical copy of Fortnite Battle Royale.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is not bad. I'm not crap talking to anybody.
And does this then take out all of the currencies, like Fortnite's V-Bucks, like Apex Legends coins?
That's a great question.
Are they going to continue selling all of those, or are those off the plate now?
Yeah, or is it just the dollar cards?
The game itself.
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, I don't know. Weird. One of 2019's weirder stories, where it's like, yeah, we did that. See ya.
Are we ready for the hashtag of Sony gonna Sony in a couple of months?
I don't think this is the most boneheaded. You can understand why they might want to do this. This isn't one of those where it's like, we're stopping production of the PS4. And where's the PS5? We're not talking about that right now. They'd be like, all right, Sony, you kidders. No, they're really doing it. Oh, no.
Is this a Sony gonna Sony with a question mark at the end rather than a full stop?
I think this is with an ish at the end, where Sony's gonna Sony-ish. Yeah.
This is gonna push physical game sales, like at GameStop.
I don't know if much can push physical beyond where it's going right now.
Oh, but no, it would be so great if this decision by Sony
it saves GameStop
in stock for GameStop, and
what is it worth, Sony? What have you done?
What? Exactly. You blew her up. You literally blew her up.
Yeah. Someone aligning with Thanos at the end. It's like, no, what have you done? You fool. Next news story here. New Dance Central game announced for Oculus Rift and Oculus Quest. This trailer looks pretty cool because they're using a lot of the controller stuff to do very fine hand movements. And it's nice to see Dance Central around again.
It's one of the most underrated games of all time, as far as I'm concerned. People did not give that the chance it deserved. Dance Central is amazing. And you know what? With a VR headset on, I might feel more comfortable about actually dancing.
You don't have to see your flailing limbs.
Exactly. As long as I don't see myself, I'm okay.
No mirrors. Turn off the lights.
So white that I'm a ghost. So that's how little rhythm I have.
Yeah.
So
me too.
If I don't have to see myself, then that's perfect.
Yeah. Enter the Gungeon's final update has been dated, and a little bit of gameplay has been shown. We had talked about this a little bit last week off the show. They finally confirmed the name, which is called Farewell to Arms. It's so good.
I like it.
Oh god, I cannot wait for their next game. Just to see what else they can come up with. It's coming out this week, April 5th, on all platforms for free. And they apologized yet again, saying, we wanted this to come out earlier, and we just couldn't stop putting more stuff into it, which is my answer is always, okay, that's fine.
So, Enter the Gungeon is widely regarded as one of the best roguelikes out there.
Correct.
They keep talking about this in the exact same way that
Ed McMillan.
Edmund
right.
keeps talking about
this is
Isaac.
my final patch. Like, I'm not going to do any more. 2 months later, it's like, by the way, I got more DLC coming out. Well, yeah. I think the interesting thing about what Dodge Roll games have been talking about with Enter the Gungeon is they've given a good reason why they want to stop it, because their code base is a mess. They said, like, hey, we learned so much during the development about how to build a game that can deal with us putting more and more stuff on top of it and have a longer tail. Enter the Gungeon doesn't do that. Like, they were talking about canceling the supply drop update because it was just, they were going crazy trying to support this code base.
Yeah.
So they came out and they said, like, look, we'd love to keep making Enter the Gungeon, but we really can't from a code standpoint. So we're going to go make something new.
It's for the Gungeon 2.
Hell yeah.
Honestly, it reminds me a bit of Indie Game the Movie. I can't remember his name, but the guy who did Fez.
Phil Fish.
Yes, thank you. There is the interview section with him where he's talking about how he's the designer on the game, so he's doing all of the visual stuff for it, and he's like, but the problem is you put 1,000 hours into designing the world, but by the time you get to the end of the game looks so much better from the start of the game because you've learned so much on the way to get there.
Right.
So then you go back and you start doing the beginning stuff again with your new methods. And then by the time you get back to the end, it's just this constant cycle. So it's like, I get it.
Yeah.
To wrap a bow in it, seal it off, push it out to the world.
End out on a high note.
Yeah.
So they did announce there's 2 new characters, which is great. A new floor with a new boss, which is sorely needed. A new enemy variant, whatever that means. And rainbow mode, which is sounds really great. Basically, when you start a floor, there spawns a rainbow chest. When you open a rainbow chest, it basically barfs out like 8 or 9 items. And usually it's like, this thing makes a run whenever you see it, but they're incredibly rare. All those items spew out. You can only pick one of those. The other ones disappear, and that's the only drop you get for that floor. And then when you get to the next floor, another rainbow chest, pick one item, and rinse and repeat. So that sounds pretty good. It seems like you can combine modifiers now. So things are going to get pretty crazy, and I guess I will start playing Enter the Gungeon again.
Just make it next We Roguelike game.
God. That's a random.org choice is what that is.
Yeah, we're not. We only picked the one for Real Corpses EX because we ran out of time in the calendar year.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I mean, good on them. They've updated a great game and it made it even better. I will get around to playing it when random chooses that I should play it.
Yep. You have now less than a 1% chance, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And last news story here, rumor that we've been talking about for a while that Nintendo's going to be releasing a new model of the Switch, whatever that means. The new rumor that's coming out here now that seems to have some firm backing on it is now there might be 2 models. So the first model might be a more powerful, they're calling it an enhanced model targeted at avid video gamers, which is directly from them. That is not from my mouth.
Okay, so it's a Switch X.
Yeah, it's like a Switch Pro, a Switch X. They say the rumor makes it very clear saying this is not on the power level of the Pro or the Xbox One X, which if you're expecting that is crazy talk. But it sounds like it might have a little bit more oomph to it. And the second model is going to be a cheaper option that they're calling for casual gamers. The model will save on cost by cutting features which with rumble specifically mentioned. So it sounds like the Joy-Cons won't have the gyroscopes in them for rumble. Expected these 2 things to be announced at E3. That's interesting. The only question I have is on the cheaper model, are they also going to cut the dock? Because to me, that seems where you save and make a lot of money because they sell the dock separately. It's like $80. But if you sell just a handheld Switch, that might do okay. And then if you want a dock, we make $80 more.
I mean, $80 doesn't. I mean, it's not how much that thing costs to make. We all know.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's probably like $5.
Yeah, this is Nintendo. Here is a plastic fishing rod attachment
Right.
for your
$120.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, good on them.
Yeah, it seems likely. I mean, they did this with the Wii, where it was the Wii Mini, and there were a couple models of that. I don't think this is outside of the realm of possibility, but I think if you have 3 models of Wii or of Switch, that sounds like it might be a little confusing in store. You have 2 models of the 3DS. You have the 3DS and the 2DS. That's really it.
Come on, dude. You got more than that for the 3DS.
You have the 3DS XL and the 2DS. Right. So you do have 3.
Are they still talking like they're supporting the 3DS? Because
100%. Yeah.
These rumors right here sound an awful lot like, let's get rid of the Switch in the middle, put that to one side.
Yeah.
If you're a gamer, you get the Switch X. If you're a casual gamer, you get the Switch Lite. So we'll call them the SX and the SL.
Mm-hmm.
And then that sounds an awful lot like some Nintendo portable marketing going off into the future.
I mean, it has to happen at some point, and I feel like if you put... I think Nintendo will probably say at the end of this, say, like, we are still very committed to your library on the 3DS, and then sort of quietly stop doing that. But I don't think anyone would really blame them, because 3DS has had a really good life. It'll live on for another decade.
Yeah, I mean, when did Sony sign the death knell for the PlayStation Vita? What, 2 months after it came out, and that's still kicking to this day.
Yeah, exactly. They just stopped making it and games, so that lasted pretty long. But yeah, I don't think you'll see anything new first party from Nintendo on the 3DS. Probably, I think Atlas will still come out with games because they're crazy, and you'll see some other stuff here and there, but nothing. The Switch is too popular. That's the problem. Yeah. Like, everyone wants to put games on the Switch because even if you can get a fraction of that market, you've made a lot of money.
Yeah. It's like how Steam used to be.
Yeah. Just get on Steam. Someone will find it and someone will buy your game.
Yep.
Whoops. I'm curious about the cheaper model, like, cutting features, especially like if they cut out rumble and if they cut out the gyroscope and the accelerometer and like all the motion control stuff. Like, I wonder what that means for Mario Party, because Mario Party uses those features a lot. And like,
interesting.
Yeah,
it is a casual gamer. It's targeted at casual gamers, and Mario Party is also targeted at casual gamers. So, would they be even able to play that game?
Yeah,
that's a very good point.
Thing.
Yeah. Some of that stuff where it's like sometimes Nintendo just cuts themselves off at the knees, where it's like, here, we got a super cheap option, but it doesn't do all these giant list of things that you might need for the game you play. It's like, well, cool, but now I gotta buy extra stuff.
Yeah. Oh, and if they do cut out all those features, I wonder if they'll sell those separately, and if they'll be at a cheaper price, because currently Joy-Con are, I think, $80
They're
for
very
the
expensive,
pair.
Yeah, I wonder if you could buy
cool.
like a pack of Joy-Cons, slap them on the Switch SL, and then, will that work? But
thank you for the reminder. My stupid dongle thing that I have for my Xbox controller totally does motion control as well.
Great.
By the way, I learned that because I kept missing shots in Breath of the Wild and didn't know why.
Oh.
Because it has motion control inside the dongle, so I turn that off in the menu.
Wow. Man, that's cool. Let's give a plug for that dongle again. Do you remember who made it?
No.
Okay, maybe next week.
Yes.
Let's move on to questions here. T-Bomb Rocks asks us some questions in Discord. Says, double question within a question time. Now that Apple has announced a monthly service for games on iOS and Google with Stadia, I'm guessing at monthly cost. With Stadia, I feel Game Pass has set the standard. I'd personally pay up to $15 for Stadia a month, with Apple being $5 to $7 a month. What do you expect to pay for each service, and what do you feel is fair? First off, don't let Google hear you say you pay $15, because then they'll do it.
No, because they'll hear him say the $15, and then they'll figure they can get people in money.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's just as much as I think it was a mistake by them to do it, $10 for Game Pass a month is an unbeatable price.
Yep.
That they have come in and they have set the standard of what it should be. Now it becomes it's very much like the like the season pass thing for DLC. Like the first game that did it was LA Noire, and it was $15 for the 3 sets of DLC, which totaled to like 30.
Yeah.
And then slowly but surely that market price has just gone up and up
60,
and up and up.
80. Yeah.
So if they come in and it's 10, great. Especially Apple. I don't mean to take anything away from mobile games, because some of them are amazing. Apple's needs to be 10.
Well, and Apple historically has favored high price points. Their luxury price point, as they usually like to tout. But yeah, I agree. I think for me, $10 is sort of the maximum. If anything comes out more than $10 for a subscription like that, unless it's something like Netflix, then I sort of look at it and I go, like you have to weigh it a little bit. Like, oh, well, do I get rid of Game Pass now to get this other thing? Because I don't want to pay $25 a month for the combo, but $20 a month for 2 services like that, that's fine. And if something comes out at $7, yeah, screw it. I'll buy that and I'll just forget to pay it at that point. Like, come on, get on the credit card, $7. Like, you're never going away. But I think $10 is the no-brainer. And I agree with you, Moon. $10 for Game Pass has historically shown that that's a stupid great deal. And I would hope that I'd love to see Stadia come at $10 a month. I'd be concerned that
they know how much you make.
I don't think it's going to be.
Google knows how much everybody makes.
Well, and I think for the level of features that they're gonna allegedly support, I think they will say, well, it's not just downloading games. Sure, that'll cost us $10. We're doing this, and they just list all the bullet points, and they'd be like, that's worth X number of dollars. And they might be right. I don't know, but $15 is a lot of money per month.
Yeah,
especially per month.
Yeah.
I feel bad because all of us code cutters seem to be getting screwed over now. It's like, so glad I'm saving $300 a month by not having a cable subscription.
Right.
And it's $20 on Netflix, $10 on Game Pass.
It's 30 services at $10 a month.
$90 a year for Formula One Pass.
Right.
So on and so forth. It's too many things are getting in this subscription model.
I found out my TV supported the golf channel, and I was like, great. Like, that's the only thing I would want to watch on cable TV now. Like, maybe we could actually cut the cord. And I look, it's like $45 a month. And I was like, you're insane. I don't love golf that much.
It's what you get for following a rich man's sport. Same as me with Formula One.
If only I was a rich man. I just like a rich man's sport. Yeah. His other question is, now that Sony has stopped digital games from all retailers and some of their recent decisions, starting to feel like Sony has become not only complacent but anti-consumer, parenthetically not even considering the crackdown on censorship. Do you feel this is because of the recent change in leadership, Kaz now leaving, or do they have a secret plan that they will drop and blow everyone away?
I kind of think it's neither. It's just Sony
being crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the idea that Sony can have a long-term plan is giving Sony too much credit, I think. And this isn't me like crap talking T-Bomb, but I don't think Sony is a company that, especially not Sony of America, that will be able to or is willing to plan. I don't think they have a 5-year plan.
I'm just thinking about this. They do seem to be the company that stumbles into success.
Yes.
Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't the PlayStation originally arise from the fact that it was supposed to be an add-on for Nintendo?
For Super NES, yeah. The Super NES CD, yeah.
Nintendo decided to not go with it, so Sony just released it themselves and thought, let's give this a go. And then the PlayStation 2, they essentially just stumbled into higher graphical fidelity or whatever.
And a DVD player you have in your dorm room.
A DVD player below $1,000 at the time, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. When they start to plan, they make decisions like the PlayStation 3.
Right. Whoops.
We are going to have this console powered by your microwave and your toaster and your light switches all merged together to give you a super console. That's
power
how
of
great
the
we're going to
PlayStation.
be. This is our plan.
Right.
And then they don't plan, and they decide to go back to a more regular thing, and they released the PlayStation 4. Really
It's
well
the old
done,
phrase that you fell into a pile of poop and you came out smelling like roses.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. After the PS3, I think they just threw out all their calendars, and it's like, you get a 3-month calendar, fit something cool in here, because that's all we're working with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't... It's one of those things where I can, from a business standpoint, I could guess why they might want to do that. From a customer standpoint, hey man, I don't get it. Unless,
honestly,
like Moon is saying, that 20 to 30%, that's the stuff you want to keep.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's the percentage they're losing on that. I'm looking forward to the PlayStation 5 announcement with no backwards compatibility, because it's going to be hilarious.
Yeah, and no like Game Pass or game streaming. They'll probably cut PS Now. They won't do it a Game Pass thing. No, you know the thing. I'm going to have a prediction now. I think they will announce the PS5, and PSN name changes will still not be in place.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
How about this? Let's see how deep down this dark Sony rabbit hole we can go. PlayStation 5, VR only.
That'd be great.
Oh, man.
Yep. They like make a handheld portable thing, but it turns out to just be a VR headset. And it's like, well, that's not what anyone wanted. Okay.
Yep. Stick it in this box on front of your face. There you go.
All right, back to Microsoft. Let's go. All right, thank you very much for the questions, TOM Rocks, and that's our episode this week. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Everywhere to find and follow us is on the right-hand side of the page. And patreon.com/E1M1, the ones are numbers. Talk about it at the top of the episode, but you got a bunch of cool stuff happening there because it's the end of the month. Extra cool stuff on top of the weekly stuff. Game Club, as we talked about, is super hot.
Super.
That's still going on for like 14 more weeks. I don't know how long.
I don't even know.
April should be a regularly long month, I'm hoping. I think that's really it. So we'll see you all next week.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Monkey, do you have any titles this week?
I have one, because the one I was paying attention. A lot of thus.
A lot of buzz?
Thus. THE. When you're talking about Destiny's modes.
Yeah.
The Leviathan, the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Gambit Prime, the Destiny 2.
Yep.
All right, Moon, hit me with your title.
Bombing for Fish.
Bombing for Fish.
Thunderstorm of Depression.
What were we talking about for that one?
Jess's response to Tropico 6.
Right.
First DLC plus hamburger. This is one of my 2 recommendations. Hamburger patch. Recalibration station, just because it's word salad that's so delicious.
It's good.
Post Apex Legends world. It swings on the push, swings on the pull, but that's way too long.
Yeah, it's good.
I wrote that down too, but that's super long.
I have It Didn't Feel Great Then Either. Bombing for Fish, obviously. Is This a Storm of Fire? Question mark. A lot of those. Hamburger Patch and Recalibration Station. I like Hamburger Patch a lot.
Honestly, for me, it's got to be the Hamburger Patch or Post Apex Legends world, because it perfectly describes the world that we're in these days.
Yeah. I would vote for Hamburger Patch. I just like how that sounds.
So, I don't have any.
Okay. I'll circle it. Hamburger Patch. It is. And with the Division 2, it could be a patch. Oh, double meanings.
Probably they name it after food.
Yeah. Okay. You guys ready?
No.
Okay. How about now?
You just want to get out where it's nice and cold.
I just want to open the
know
window.
you.
That's really what I want to do. Here, I'll open the window while we're talking. We can hear. The fans at home can hear the wonderful sounds of someone cutting wood with a buzzsaw.
Oh,
It's so much nicer in here.
Okay, screw it. I'll figure something out.
Okay. Starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 597 for April 1st, 2019. Hamburger Patch.
I prefer cheese.
I want it now.
Thank you so much, everyone, for watching, except you miscreants on Mixer. We'll see you next week.
Folks.
Bye.